we begin? We're all looking for the promised land. And in the end, we just need someone to hold our hands. Everybody needs some kind of refuge, something to run to, someone who loves you. I'll be the light guiding you through the night when the stars just refuse to shine. And I'll be your shelter, that safe place to hide, your sanctuary.
Oh, cool.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Everybody is Addicted. Today, I have a guest that would like to remain anonymous, and they're going to tell us their story of their struggles with addiction and how they're working towards getting help and the help that maybe they've received a little bit through the way. So, I am going to let him talk. I'm going to ask him a few questions and we're going to just chat a little bit, okay? So, first of all, I'm going to ask you, when did you first start like heavy using? Like when did that like progress into that?
Oh, sorry. I started when I was like, I don't know, 14 or 15. My first drug of choice was cocaine, actually, oddly enough. And then I did that for a couple of years, and then I was at a rave, and they said, "Hey, did you want to try jib or whatever it was called?" And one thing that stuck out of my mind is the person I was doing it with. She's like, "Before you do it, just so you know, Tina's a dirty blank, but you're gonna love her, and that's gonna stick with you forever." And 25 years later, I'm still doing it on and off.
And I get that. Like, it's hard when you're like, I drank on and off very heavily for like 10
Yeah,
years, and I thought nobody knew that I was as bad as I was, but oh my
they
gosh,
all know.
everybody knew. And, like, it just leads to like things that we regret, right?
Yeah.
But, I I'm gonna let the viewers know though, this is somebody that I know, so the questions I ask are because I know this person. So
Yeah.
you said before you had gone to rehab, right? Like once or
Uh, I've done detox, and I went to rehab
detox,
for
yeah.
like a day, but I have really bad anxiety, and it was like the first, well, it's not St. Leonard's or whatever, but the first when it opened, I went to detox there for 7 days, and then I was supposed to go to treatment right after. But I was just gonna do day treatment, and
Yeah.
then I like there's like 15, 20 people there, and a couple of people I used with, so I just left. I then never came back.
Yeah, I've heard really bad stories from other people about detox, and I've never been because of that fear of what
Yeah.
I've been told. And I also suffer from anxiety, and the way they treat people with anxiety is, from what I hear, not very good, right? So I could see why that would be a reason to leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
no, they actually treated me pretty good. It's just it was my own,
well,
my own thing.
they're obviously not going to give you a clonazepam to calm down. You know what I mean? For
No,
detox.
yeah, that was one of my that's not a mistake. You should always be honest, right?
Yeah.
But like, it's a tool that would really help me when I'm having like panic attacks and stuff. But I've kind of learned to like deal with it on my own. But when I go to oddly enough, when I go to the hospital, the first thing they do, you know what they, the first thing they do is give me lorazepam.
Uh-huh.
Calm down, right?
They give
So
that to you right away. I remember going in, puking, having a panic attack, and they gave it to me and then came back and were like, "How do you feel?" But I had oxy in my system, so they weren't very nice to me because they thought, well, because I was using Percocets, right, at the
yeah,
time. So they were like, they thought I was just seeking more drugs, right? So they were like very helpful, when really I
yeah,
do have, I finally, because like we go to the Ram, right? I
yeah.
finally at the Ram was able to get an actual diagnosis of having
All right.
generalized anxiety through
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah.
Huck and
Oh,
PTSD and
she's
all
good
that
too.
stuff. Which, if once you get that mental health assessment done, it
Yeah.
makes it so much better, right? And
Oh, yeah.
I know that like you have had periods of sobriety and then been triggered and gone back. What's that like?
I don't know. I've been doing it for like 25 years on and off. Which ones do you want to hear about? I'll just tell you about my the
I know
last
about
one.
the recent one. Why don't you tell me about like the recent one?
What happened? I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out though, because
I feel
it's
like
just
you're
like I relapse and then I'm good for a couple of years. But this time, I don't know. It's been like five or six really relapses, and I have no real reason why. No, no, it's that's a lie. I don't know. It just I get really overwhelmed and I get stressed out, and then I get in my head too much, and then I relapse for some reason. The one major one was at my work. Um, my I work in healthcare or whatever, and my ex died of fentanyl overdose, right?
mm-hmm.
And I was there, and I don't know, like a code blue. When you're there, I'm just supposed to stand there. Well, she was ID overdosing, and she was like, I don't know, my
That
one of my
that's
first,
yeah.
huh?
I was just gonna say that must have been so fucking hard.
Yeah, I still can't go to that place. I'm still um not in counseling, but I'm doing like exposure therapy, and
Yeah.
it's been like 3 years, and I'm still going through it, right?
Well, that's PTSD at its finest, honestly. Somebody
Yeah,
that you
yeah, I got
loved
diagnosed with
and
that
you can't
actually.
help them, like, and you just have to watch them pass away. That
Yeah, it
is,
sucks, right?
yeah,
I've never.
that
I had a long list of mental health disabilities, but I've never had PTSD until that happened to me. But like the people around are really good, right? They're
I
amazing, but
still think that if they were able to get you on a better treatment plan, that you wouldn't have these relapses, because like they don't, I think like you said that you're going to try to go to an inpatient rehab. I think that that would be so much more helpful for you because they'll be able to get you on a proper treatment plan. Because if
yeah,
you're
I'm
on a
just
proper mental health plan, it'll help you not want to go back to forgetting about it.
I'm to be honest with you, I'm gonna go, but I'm scared shitless. I don't
I
know. I've
I've never
never.
gone and I would be too, honestly. It is scary.
Have you been before? Like, have
No,
you? No,
I can't because of the kids,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So
That's what you're
I
saying,
can't,
right?
but I have heard of, like, I had a guest on and he went for a year and
That's
he
Rob,
said
right?
yeah, Rob.
Yeah, yeah.
And he
He's a
said it
great
was
guy.
really, really hard at first because he's around, like the same thing with anxiety and being around all these people you don't know and you have to like kind of figure out how to be around them. But he said that like being there for in the inpatient for that long was the only reason he was able to stay sober, right?
Yeah,
So
I give him props though, because I know him from way back in the day, right? He's a really
yeah.
good guy, you
Oh
know?
yeah, he was so nice. And I know a
Yeah,
lot of
and
people that know him too.
he was living with some I don't know, some pretty interesting people, to say the least, right? But
Yeah, I guess we all
no,
have done
he
that.
was one of the good ones though. But I give him props because that's a really, really long time, right?
Yeah. But he said that that's what helped him because it's like taking you away from your environment and like My friend went, like, he even said he went to a 21 day one, didn't work for him. My friend just got out of a 21 day one. It's not long enough, right? And she is
Yeah,
struggling and really having a hard time not relapsing because she just like still needs that treatment plan. And once like you get used to that routine and then it's taken away and you're put back in your real life, it's like
yeah,
all that stress comes back, right? And so
yeah, yeah,
she needed longer treatment, but she has a child and couldn't leave for that long, right? Where
yeah.
if you can leave for like I would say even like 6 months, even three, like a, not even a month isn't going to help you. It just really isn't, right? So like
Well,
going away, that's why like when you I watch intervention a lot, right?
yeah.
And like the 90 days, I feel like is so much more helpful than 21 days, right? Like what's that going to do? Going to teach you a
Well,
few coping mechanisms. That's about it.
well, to be honest with you, like mine that I think I'm going to is few months, but like my counselor said, it's not, it's not prison. You can leave wherever you want. So I was gonna go for like, I'm gonna go like as long as like I'm learning something. But I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna go for like maybe 4 or 5 weeks, just
See
because
how it feels.
yeah, because like I'm trying to like always learn about whatever, right?
And
And
everybody's different with what helps them, right?
yeah, I think like yeah, I think yeah, I'm just gonna do yeah,
Like
I'm
a
just gonna
month.
do what yeah, I'm just gonna do what I think if I still benefit from it, I'm gonna learn. But I think like 4 or 5 weeks is good because I've been doing this for so long and everything.
And like you said, you've been able to hold on to years of sobriety and relapse. And I've done the same thing, right?
Yeah,
And it's like if you are able to do it, maybe just going and seeing if that's a good fit for you and it works, then going for a month and learning what you need to learn and it fits and it works, then that's
yeah,
great. But like I
yeah, yeah,
said, everybody recovers differently, right? Like
yeah.
I don't like AA. I have my own problems with
Oh
that.
no, 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 no.
So I
I've
recovered at the Ram clinic. That's where I got
yeah.
sober, right?
Have you ever tried what's that one called? Hugs, not drugs.
No, my mother-in-law actually runs the Celebrate Recovery in Brantford,
Oh,
and
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. You were telling me about that.
I've been wanting to go to that because it also helps people like I've had some stresses in my life that are pretty
Yeah,
strong, right?
yeah, yeah,
So I want to go to that and see because it's not just for drugs or alcohol, it's for anybody who's like kind of struggling. It's just more of a support group, right?
yeah. I said
So
I'd join you on that one of these days or whatever.
well, maybe next Monday we'll go together.
Yeah, I'd like that, right? Because yeah, I'm trying to learn, right? But
And it's much more of a support group where it doesn't focus on just your problems with addiction. It focuses on also mental health problems, right? So
yeah.
mental health problems are what causes the drug addiction in the first place, right? So
Oh
I
yeah,
think
definitely.
definitely more helpful, I think. And I mean, she's been sober for over 30 years because of this
Oh, good
program.
for her.
So, I mean, I have never gone, I should, but it's
Yeah.
my daughter's father's mom, right?
Oh, okay.
So like we and her have a good relationship, but I just don't want to say too much to her, but at the same time, I know she understands addiction, so I have to get over that anxiety of her maybe knowing some things about me that I don't really want people to know you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I have to get over that if I want to, like you said, the anxiety portion, if I really want to recover and make sure that I don't fucking fall back down as hard, like, I
Yeah, yeah.
need something like that, right?
Yeah, I do too. Like, it gets tired. Like, how old are you? I forget how old you are. You're like,
I'm gonna be 37 in April.
yeah, like I'm a little older than that or whatever like that. And it gets tiring, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh. And
Like
it takes
I
over
I
your mind.
like I used to like when I was younger, no one really had any idea I was doing it for like a long time, right? But like as you get older, your body can only handle so much, right?
Oh yeah, and the withdrawals are 10 times worse. Like even from booze, like if I was to drink now, my
Yeah.
hangovers keep me from being like the addict I was because I feel like ass, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
just the withdrawals from like anything really, because even at the RAM they give you mental health medication, say,
Yeah.
or Suboxone. Say I don't take my Suboxone one day, I feel so bad, right?
What's
So
the
it's
boxing anyways? Oh, that's like
that's the opiate drug that like they give
oh
you
yeah, yeah,
there,
yeah.
right?
Do you find it
So
helps?
yeah, because what it does is it has beta blockers in it, so I can't. If
Okay.
I wanted to go take a Percocet, it would keep me from not. I wouldn't be able to get high off of it. It blocks the high, right?
Oh, that's smart. You know,
So
they
I
should have
take it for
something
that.
they should have something for like
Other
uppers,
drug.
like ice and stuff like that. I don't think they have anything like that, don't they?
No, they don't, and that's a big
They should.
problem because, like, with you, you have to go through that withdrawal, right? With me, the Suboxone takes the withdrawals away, but also
Yeah.
keeps you from getting high. So it's really like a lifesaver. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have to
Yeah.
take it every day, or else I feel like shit again. And
Yeah, you
that's
feel off and
four
stuff, right?
years later. 4 years later, I
4
haven't
years?
taken opiates. But if I don't take my Suboxone, I feel like I did when I was withdrawing. Now, see, they need to come up with a drug for like like for jib and for like crack, and they don't have that, right? And
Yeah, I don't get it. Like you would think like throughout all the whatever they'd figure it out right now, right? But
yeah, they just only for opiates, right? And like even like benzos, coming up benzos is hell, and they don't have anything for that either. But yet they prescribe it to you like it's candy, and then they take it away, and you're
yeah,
just
what's up
like,
with that?
I feel like I'm dying, and they don't have anything to treat that. It's only opiates, so it sucks, right? And it's
Yeah, and
not fair.
you know what's funny though too, like the last little go, but I was home like I was homeless for a little bit or whatever like that. Like my family's very supportive and I love them to death. But when I use, they keep their distance, which I don't blame, right? And it was like kind of like, come home when you're ready to, get better or whatever, right? So
Yeah,
I was coming down off my antidepressants and I was like hanging out with like really questionable people that I shouldn't have hanged out with, right? But you
yeah,
were there around, whatever, right?
yeah,
For all that journey. And you know what? I realized I don't miss it. It's just and some people are like 40, 50, and they're like they just you remember the really oddball people or whatever that you know what I
yeah.
mean? You met?
And they're they're the ones that like are in the clinic freaking out on everybody, and they're like, you know what I mean? Like it's like the older ones don't realize that they're an addict, so they push back so hard, like you and I realize that we have problems with these things,
Yeah.
right? We get it. They don't get it, that's why they act like that, right? And
Well,
it's
yeah,
kind
and
of funny.
like we all have our own battles and we've all done stuff we're not proud of or whatever, right? But I can't count how many times they've said, "Oh, I'm gonna go to rehab just to get like my help and stuff," right? Which is fine. I mean, I know you're just trying to do stuff to survive and stuff like that, right? But if it was like if people were more honest, like I'm no angel either, right? But if like
Oh yeah, neither am I.
no, like we've all done stuff like that, but like if you're honest with me and everything like that, you'd have my support 100%. But if you're gonna say, oh, I'm going next month, after a while, like, you just, what it's hard to believe stuff, right? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But
And
I hope like later down the line, they get sober too. But that's when they're ready to, right?
Well, and I feel like you're at that point where you are sick of it. So when you
Yeah,
do go to treatment, I honestly believe that it will help you because I know that you're sick of that lifestyle. And once you get
yeah,
sick of that lifestyle or something like with me, um, my significant other had like 3 heart attacks due to Fenny,
really,
right? And that's why we got sober because he can't take any kind of opiate or he'll have another heart attack. And I just, I hadn't done them that long. I was more of an alcoholic than an opiate user. I was only an opiate addict for a couple years, right?
really.
Yeah,
Did you
it
ever
was more
inject or?
drinking and cocaine when I was
Yeah,
younger, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so that was like the getting off opiates for me wasn't like super like my mental I wasn't mentally overly addicted to the opiates. So I realized that I don't want to see him die if I keep using because he'll just want to use. So I I went to the Ram clinic and I did all the same things that he had done when he got out of the hospital to get off of them and stuff,
Is that
right?
the one I met?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's one of my biggest, like, that's one of my biggest fears actually is having a heart attack. I didn't realize that. Maybe I'll talk to him
No,
about it one
he's
day, just, so I have some time or whatever. Because it's
well
either a
he
stroke or a heart attack, right?
well he even said in his episode that doctors don't inform you that opiates actually can cause heart attacks.
Yeah, I
And
would
so
have
he
never
had
guessed that.
no idea, right?
Yeah,
And
I would have never guessed that.
yeah, he like I found him passed out in the in the laundry room. I thought he slipped and hit his head, but
Oh, really?
that was the first heart attack. I woke him up from it. The second one, we were in the car and he had a heart attack and crashed the car. And then the third one, he was at home, got out of the shower and had a heart attack in the bedroom. And that's when his sister busted in the house and was giving him CPR. And that's when he finally went to the hospital. And they shot him with naloxone and was like, well, they said to him, "Are you ready to get better?" And he's like, "Yes." They shot him with
Yeah.
naloxone. He felt like hell for a little bit. And then they gave him some Suboxone and, yeah, did like all the heart stuff and sent him home, right? And gave him the resources. And so that's how
Someone's looking out for him, that's for sure, eh?
yeah, well, it was his sister
Lucky
because
guy.
I was still high on the drugs, so I was just gonna put him in the tub and
Oh,
spray him with cold
Jesus
water to
Christ.
wake him up. Because I didn't realize he was
Yeah,
having a overdosing or having a heart attack. I just from watching TV and shit, I was
yeah.
like, oh, you put them in the tub and you get them cold and it wakes them up, right?
Mm.
And his sister's like, no. And like her husband broke into my house, unlocked the door, let her in, and she's giving him CPR when the ambulance came.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, so it was
Oh,
quite
jeez.
the experience, right? So that's
But
what
he's
I
doing
mean. It's,
okay now?
yeah, like he doesn't touch it now, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
that's the thing. It's either something really bad happens to you or you're
yeah.
sick of it. And I feel like you're sick of it. So I
Yeah,
think that
I'm sick of I'm sick of ice. I mean, like, I'm gonna try to be like 100% sober, but see, the only issue is like I didn't really have a problem with blow. It's just, like I was telling you, it's when I'm coming down, um,
yeah.
you know what I mean? People are like, "Oh, do this. This is a really good idea,"
Well,
but
it's
it's
the
a
same
terrible
thing.
idea, right?
Well,
So,
it's the same thing with drinking. As soon as I have a few drinks, I'm like looking for blow as fast as possible. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
then that takes over, and I'm up for like 3 days, and then I am like,
yeah, you're
oh my
broken and
God,
everything too.
yeah. So I get it, right? With
Yeah,
the
yeah, but
blow.
like me personally, I don't see anything wrong with like drugs in general, as long as like you don't let it like ruin like your life. Like if I could choose it again, I would never do ice in the first place, right? I've wasted so much time in my life, and all that jazz, right? But you can't go back in time. I wish you could, right?
I agree.
like all the money, like, and it's like, have you ever tried? You haven't tried ice or nothing, eh?
No, I've never. Well, you know what? They found it in my system because I had done dirty Fenny, so I guess I have done it
Oh,
when I
okay, but you haven't
missed the
got
first
like,
time. I didn't know I did it, but I guess I have done it, right?
you
Because
haven't
it
had
was in the Fenny.
like the full effect or whatever, right?
Yeah, I know. So
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
never. I've done like I've smoked crack and I've done cocaine and I've done
yeah,
what you call it, lots of drinking. I've done every opiate possible. I've done Fenny, but I've never, yeah, I never did ice because you know what? It's my anxiety, and I feel like it's just going to make
yeah,
my anxiety worse. So, same with Coke. It's like only if I'm drinking because I know that Coke gives me anxiety the next, like when I'm done with it, right? Because of the dopamine issues. So,
yeah.
I'm so anxious that I can't even handle myself. Like, I'm
Yeah,
freaking
I
out.
would never guess that from you that like you're like because you're so like calm and collective like most of the time, right? I would have never guessed that
Well, I
you were
worked as
like
a
that or whatever. Right?
server. I worked as a server and a bartender for 20
Yeah.
years. So
Oh,
I know how
okay.
to put the face on, right? Like the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm okay, you know? But yeah, I've gone to work when I was drinking really bad and I had the shakes and I have to carry trays of drinks. And
Oh,
I'm
okay.
surprised my bosses didn't pick up on that fact because I'm shaking, carrying drinks, right? Like it and sweating and I don't look like good at all. I puked
Oh,
at
yeah,
work
I
so
got
many
that too.
times. Used to
Yeah, yeah,
drink
I got
at
that too.
work. Fuck, it was bad.
You were see, the funny thing is like, I can get high off almost anything, but crack, I've
I
had
hate
like,
crack. I
oh,
fucking
I do
hate it.
too, but I can't get high off it for some reason.
It just
I've
makes me feel sick. That's why I don't like it.
no,
My
like I've had like countless crackheads like, do it for me and everything like that. And like
yeah.
I've like not slammed, but I've smoked 100 gram rock all at once, and I
Oh
didn't even
God.
get high. Right?
Holy crap. Yeah, I just felt sick and paranoid. And so I didn't like it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've only done it once because my ex, we were going to a family thing and I had been up all night drinking and doing coke.
Oh,
And
don't do that.
he's like, oh, if you smoke a little bit of crack, you'll be okay to go to the family thing and you'll feel
Oh,
better.
don't do that. That's like the
I
worst advice
did do
ever.
that, and then I went and hid in my uncle's basement the whole time because I was scared.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So that didn't end well, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
that's the thing, like, I don't know. Some everybody has their like drug of choice that like
yeah,
works for them, you know, and it's their like vice, I guess. And I know that
yeah,
your vice is jib. So like
yeah,
for you, I think just get it like for right now because I know that you've had a bit of a struggle with it at this point. Going to
yeah,
rehab for like for like 3 or 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever you feel you need. I think will get you in a different mindset and pull you out of that, you know? I think it will.
yeah. I think it's just like for me, it's like more of I don't know. I can guess, but I don't really know. Like, it's trauma. It always comes down to trauma, right?
It
But
does.
like, I don't know. I've been through like a lot of trauma, right? Like,
Do you want to
I've been
share any
homeless.
stories of that besides losing like your friend, like your
Y-
girlfriend,
Yeah, like,
Charity?
what kind of stories do you want to hear? Do you want to hear weird, or do you want to hear like sad stories, or I got a bunch of stuff.
Whatever you want to tell. It's up to you.
Um, like, I lived in Toronto for I don't know. I can't. Don't quote me on it. Like I used to like kind of. I wasn't gonna say slang, but I used to like hook people up with stuff so I could get a little
Yeah.
bit, right? We've all done that.
In between
Um,
person kind of thing.
yeah, and there's like groups of people that aren't really nice and everything like that. You know what I mean? This is all just like conspiracy theories, but I don't know. I was Regent Park or whatever. Yeah, Regent Park, right?
Yeah, Regent Park.
Yeah, I was there all whatever. And these guys pinned me down and they were beating me up and everything like that. And I was with my friend and they made me watch her, get assaulted and stuff.
God, you have a lot of female trauma, eh?
Yeah, it's mostly that because I usually like when I'm under the influence, I usually just like I'm either dating someone or I don't know. I attach myself to someone, right? Because like when I'm sober or whatever like that, I'm I'm not tough. I'm a nice guy and stuff like that, but like I can take care of myself and everything, right? But when I'm high on crystal, I'm for some reason I don't like myself high. No one likes me high on that stuff. I hate it, but I get really paranoid and I'm a big pussy, very much, right? Like
Yeah.
when it comes down to it, I'll whatever. But I'm basically insane, right?
Well,
So
that's like me with drinking. Like
yeah,
it's the same thing. I don't stop for days, and I use the coke to keep me going, and like I get that way too, and like then I get myself in situations, and the situations end up leading to trauma because I'm hanging out with people I know I shouldn't be hanging out with,
yeah,
and they take advantage of me by holding it over my head, like, oh, if you do this, I'll give you some coke, right? And like
yeah.
you do
Yeah,
the
and like
things and then you like get like you go through the withdrawals, you feel better, whatever, and you look
yeah.
back on it and the trauma from it is
Oh my
huge
God.
and the anxiety from it is huge too, and then it just makes you want to go back out there.
Yeah, and we're all a little weird when we're high. I have
Mm.
like um I don't want to say I have certain like characteristics I like to do with certain people that you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I make sure everything's okay and everything's cool with it. But like after I sober up, I'm like, why the fuck do I do that, right? You
Yep.
know what I
I
mean?
I get that 100%. And when I'm drunk, I'm the most annoying person in the
Oh, I am
world.
too. Like, I always like, you know, I always like, hey, is this okay? Or I warn the person way ahead of time and I say, hey, is this okay? And if you're not okay with it, let me know and I'll stop, right? You know what I mean? But it's like, I'm sure, but it's very common, right? Like everyone likes to do something or another, you know what I mean? But I don't pick up social cues half the time. You have to like tell me, right? But like, I don't know. I'm really weird when I'm on ice and stuff like that too. And yeah, like when you're drinking and stuff, I don't know. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I just turned into a different person. I call it Dr.
Yeah.
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and that's the same as you when you're high on like ice and shit, right? You're not the same person that you are when you're
Oh no,
sober.
no, no, no.
I'm a
I don't
completely
know.
different person. Like I do crazy shit. One time I drank vanilla extract because they make it with
Why?
vodka because I was out of booze. One time my dad and
Vanilla
I,
extract?
yeah, it's made with vodka. So you can
Oh,
drink it.
really?
And
Okay.
I one time, me and my dad we had a party. We took all the beers that were half full, took a
Yeah.
sieve,
Oh,
sifted out all of the butts and everything, put it in a
oh.
pop bottle, and me and my dad sat there and drank these beers. Like that's what I mean by I would never do that now. Like, but
No, I did the
oh,
same thing. Oh no, like everyone was like passed out or gone home and everything. And there was like a bunch of like bottles with like, the backwash, like of
yep.
beers, right? So me being the drunk whatever I am, I said, "Oh, this is a really good idea." So I drank all of them,
Like,
and then I realized like that's the backspit of everyone. And guess what happened? I puked it all up.
oh, we were puking me and my dad too because we had this pop bottle that had like we couldn't sieve out all of the cigarette ashes, you know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
was like this dirty thing. And then my ex-boyfriend made Swish. I was at a retirement
Oh,
party and I seen an
yeah.
old friend this weekend and he was talking about the Swish that we drink and how like he's never been more drunk in his life. And like he and I literally got so drunk off of it, ran out of it, went to the liquor store at 9 a.m. waiting for it to
Oh,
open so we could get more booze because we were so fucked up off this swish. Like,
really?
just, yeah, just doing shit like
Crazy.
that. And like, so you know what I mean by like the journey to try to get it, the
Yeah,
difference of
yeah.
like how your personality changes so much when you're on whatever it is that makes you happy, right?
Well, does it make you happy anymore? Because you've been party you've been an addict for quite a while too, right?
So I don't like drinking now because
Yeah,
I just don't like I just don't want to do it. I don't know. Like I talked to my a friend my mom lives with that's also sober of
yeah,
booze, right? And we both said it everybody says it's the first drink that you think about before you start drinking. And me and him were like, no, it's you gotta think about what is gonna happen after your last drink. Because
yeah,
after your last drink, you're gonna feel all of the shit that you put yourself through, and you're gonna feel like shit, and it's all so bad, right?
yeah, yeah,
And it's the same thing with any kind of drug that you do. Do you know what I mean? Because you're not yourself, and then when you become yourself again, you're like, what the hell? And then you just do it again so that you
yeah,
don't have to
yeah.
think about it, right? And
Like I think the
I
only like drug that's okay and not along those lines is mushrooms.
yeah,
If you think about it.
I've never heard of a mushroom addict, and they
No,
actually
no, no.
they
And like
use it in
you're
healing
not
now.
weird. I mean,
They
you're
use it
okay.
in microdosing now in actual like healing spas and stuff. They microdose people with it to help them with their trauma.
Yeah, they're doing something. There's factories in BC too that actually is like manufacturing cocaine for some reason. I don't know why, but he he uh he okayed this for some reason. I don't know why. But
Well,
yeah.
I think it's because they don't understand how our brains work, right? But some of our
Yeah.
brains need certain things, right? So like cocaine gives you that dopamine. So if you I like I'm somebody who has low dopamine.
Yeah.
So so it could if it was controlled help, right? And it's the same with the mushrooms. If it's controlled and it's a small dose, it's just
Yeah.
enough to help you kind of open your mind and stuff. They do it with ketamine too. They give ketamine
Oh
treatment. So
God,
like
I hate ketamine.
I've never done it, but my cousin was
Oh,
addicted to it, so I never touched
oh
it. But
really? What, your
yeah, my
husband?
cousin had a really bad problem with it, so I was like, no, no, no. But
I've never I've done it quite a few times when I was raving and stuff like that. I've never seen like the allure for ketamine because it just makes you drunk,
well,
which I
that's
don't
why
like.
I don't understand why they're using it as a mental health treatment. But like I said, they don't. We don't understand how our brains work. So like I don't know. They have like if it's controlled and they can figure out certain people who it'll help, then
Yeah,
I think I agree with you. I think it's okay. Drugs are okay in a way if they are able to help you. You know what I mean? And I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
think people think about it that way. They just see it as the label drugs and think you're awful and they think you're scum because you do it. But you're doing it because you feel so much anxiety and so much PTSD that it's the only thing that can help you at that time.
yeah. No one really gets that. You know, everyone's just like, oh, people are doing drugs, oh, they're dirty drug addicts, blah 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 blah, right? When that's
Yeah,
like
they don't
really not the case in the first place, right?
well, they don't see they were real people and even like look at you like having to go through that story both those stories, having to go through that and
Yeah,
experience that is going to leave you with scars and trauma and it's like they don't know exactly how to help you because they don't like I find counselors don't listen that well, right? So like it's like they're not really except for Dr. Huck, she's amazing, but I'm saying like most of them don't listen to you, so you don't get on a proper treatment plan.
yeah, yeah,
I have dealt with not being on a proper treatment plan and then finally getting on one and being able to be 10 times more functional than I ever was before, you know? But it's finding that. And that's why I think for you, when you go away, I think you're going to come back like 10 times better because you'll have that time to think and you'll have that time to find what works for your brain, right?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out even like years afterwards, but I think it's a good thing. I mean, I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason, and I think this is a good thing. I'm going to learn a lot, but is it going to cure everything? Probably not.
Well, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you come back on when you get out of treatment and see what you say.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's
I
what
like
we're going
that.
to do because we're going to see what your I would like to see what your opinion is afterwards, right? And I think that everybody listening would too because there's so many people still in active addiction looking for different resources and to hear somebody's experience with rehab and you know what I mean? Like if it helps, if it doesn't, like because like I said, needs everybody's different. So
Yeah, yeah,
everybody's treatment and getting recovery is different. And I know that you have so much trauma that needs to be unpacked and a
yeah,
way to figure out how to help you so that you don't want to go out and use because you feel okay. You know what I mean?
yeah. I feel like your body can only handle so much, and one of these
And I
days I'm not going to
also
come home from Woodstock and I'm going to have a permanent psychosis and stuff, and I don't want that.
no,
I want
and
to come
that's
back
a
from
big thing
Woodstock,
with
right?
Jib is it I like with Jib you can get psychosis so easily and it can take like months and years to get out of that psychosis. I
Yeah, and some people
watch
never get out of it,
documentaries about
right?
it. And
Yeah,
that
some
you
people.
haven't gotten to that point yet. So like I mean,
I'm getting there. Every
but
time it's
that's
a
what
little
I'm
worse
saying
than.
is that I'm glad that you are, but like that's the thing, you are trying to get better. It's not like you don't want to get better. Like there's so many people that are too far gone. You're not at that
Yeah,
point, right? You're at that point where you're like, fuck this.
yeah,
And a lot of other people need to get to that point too, right? Because like you want to live a happy life, right? And
yeah.
you want to have the things that you want to have in life, but because you have this thing holding you back because of your trauma and all the other things that have gone on in your life, you
Mhm.
can't function the way that you need to. So finding the right recovery program or whatever
Yeah,
will help you because you're open to it. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah.
my
That's the
daughter's
most important
father
thing.
has said, I don't care. Drugs are my life, right? Where you are more like, I don't want to die. I don't want to be in psychosis. I
Yeah.
want to have a different life, right? So you
But
have an open mind.
like, from what I only met him like once, but he seems like he's, like, I don't know him personally, right?
Oh no,
But he
I'm
seems
talking
like
about my
he's,
ex. I'm talking about my daughter's
oh, okay.
father, the one that I said that's
Yeah, yeah.
homeless.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about someone. Sorry about that. Yeah, yeah. But
You know, I was talking about the one that I said that like when you're out there, like he does he's like the in between guy or whatever. So I know he's around
oh,
all the
okay.
time and he knows everybody that you would know. So I
Yeah,
said
yeah,
if
yeah.
you ever needed like protection, he would watch out for you, is what I meant.
Oh, well,
He's
that's
not a
nice.
bad person. The drugs just got him hard, right? Like too hard.
Yes.
He can't give
Some
it
people
up.
are like that, though.
But like that's he hasn't gotten to the point where he's sick of it. That's what it is, right? He's
Is he
not sick of
homeless
that
or
life.
is he got his stuff pretty together? You know what I mean? Or is
Yeah.
he?
Oh, so like the person I'm with now has their shit together, goes to work every day, lives their life
Oh,
normally,
God. Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like my daughter's father's homeless and um he shoots fentanyl, right? And he's been
Hmm.
doing it for a very, very, very long time. And you can
Yeah,
and he has heart problems. So I don't know why he won't give it up because like my kids are a huge reason for me to stay on this straight and narrow. He
yeah,
has this daughter that he doesn't see because he does drugs, but why would like but yet don't you want to be a part of her life? It's been 8 years, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I don't know. How are you not sick of being homeless for 8 years? Like, how are you not sick of that? It's
You know what?
cold
Some people
outside.
just. That's what I asked about, like the oddballs that you met or whatever, right? Some people just can't get out of that life. Like,
I think he likes it, which is weird.
yeah,
I think he's just lived it so long that he likes it and it's what he's used to. So he doesn't want like we've taken him to detox twice and he's left this like second that he's been dropped off. So he
oh,
doesn't
like you left detox?
he left like my daughter's father when I was with him still, his mom took him to detox 2 times because we had interventions on him. And
Yeah. Oh,
he
I hate
left
interventions.
he left the second his mom dropped him off for once because he couldn't smoke weed. Another
Yeah.
time he made up a story about his health card. And
Uh,
it's just because he not like you or he doesn't have the open mind to try something to get himself better. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And
Well, that makes sense.
that's what's like that's why I wanted to bring you on because I know that you struggle, but you still have that want to get better. And that's the
Well,
important part.
like I'm not gonna lie. I got chopped off at I guess it was it was detox. And like the moment I got there, I was like, nope, not ready. And I was stranded in another city. And that happened like on my last go around, that happened twice. It's not
Yeah,
funny, but it kind of is, right?
it's the
Because
exact same story as him
yeah,
too, right? He was in it. We took him to Kitchener and
okay.
it like the detox in Kitchener twice, and I don't even know how he got back to Brantford. I don't even know how he got back here, but he did.
Yeah, no, I was in like a very like Simcoe, like an hour
Yo, the
away.
one in Simcoe, yeah, I know it's the I forget
I
what
think
it's called, but yeah.
it was either Simcoe or it was somewhere close to,
I know
whatever.
which one you're talking about because
Yeah.
I've gone to some meetings where they bring the people from that detox into the meetings, so I know which place you're talking about. I just forget the name.
I mean, they were great people and everything, but like I need my own rock, right? Like I need my own room basically. And there was like four people to a room, and I
Yeah,
was
I
just like,
couldn't hit. I don't like
nope.
that either. Like, I get anxiety really bad, and being around people that I don't really know, it would just make it so much higher. So I understand that part of it too, right? Like, and that's
Yeah, and
what
like
Rob even said. Like, being around all these different people is really hard.
yeah, and they like the person that drove me, like, you know what I mean? The emotions are high, rehab and everything like that. They left me there because they thought, this was it. I said I'll go to Brantford or whatever, but they thought, like, I don't blame them. I'm not mad at them or nothing, right? Because that's what they thought was best. But later on they were like, I totally understand, agree with you, like that one wasn't for you. But then there was like, you know what? And I should have just went to the one in Brentford because there was a bed open and everything. But I was so pissed off that I just said, you know, the hell with it, right? And I
Yep.
almost I don't know. I've always tried to like, myself with drugs too. Like I'm gonna admit that. It was stupid because I don't know. I do lethal amounts and I never,
Well,
right?
that's how I feel too. Like, how am I still alive through some of the things that
Yeah.
like what I've done? I'm like, how am I alive? When Kyle had his heart attacks, I weighed like 70 pounds. I'd
I
lost
bet.
so much weight.
So,
I thought I was gonna die from malnutrition. But yet
yeah.
I wasn't having heart attacks yet. My body was like shutting down. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's
Oh,
just crazy.
believe it or not, like I'm not fat or nothing, but I'm a pretty stocky guy, right?
I'd say you're about like
Um,
normal size. The funny part is
yeah, I'm normal size, right? Like I work out and everything,
I mentioned
but
my cousin that was addicted to K, and you look identical to him. So every time I see you, I'm
I'm
like, oh,
a
my cousin
doppelganger.
Michael.
Yeah, but believe it or not, like I was like in my active addiction where I was like homeless in Toronto, I was 120 pounds. at one point.
Oh, I can't even imagine you at that size just because I know what you look like now. Like, oh
No,
yeah,
like
that's like me. It's unhealthy. You're malnutrition, and it's scary because if you get pneumonia, your body can't fight it.
oh no, I was like shocked. But I wasn't eating and everything. I was just like, I was just I wasn't eating, and like you get sandwiches anytime in Toronto. You understand that too, right? But
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't know. I was pretty much high for a year altogether, right? And yeah, I don't know, you know?
I get
And
it 100%. Like it's just I don't know. It's so hard to find what works for you, and then when you are so active in it where you're not ready to get better, you don't
yeah.
even realize that you're that skinny until you
Oh
sober
yeah,
up a
like
little bit and you look in the mirror and you're like, "Oh my God, like I'm gonna die. Like I'm too like it's looks like you cancer, you know what I mean?"
yeah, and like what was I gonna say? I'm sure like you've like I don't know about like your thing, but like when I was like active addiction too, um ah, like when I was in active addiction too, I didn't even realize I was addicted until like later on, you know what I mean? Because it
Oh
just like
yeah.
kind of like slaps you in the face, right?
Well, once like you're like trying to go to those loan places to get money to buy the pills or whatever, you
Yeah.
realize
Sorry, I didn't
that
mean to
you've
laugh.
gotten yourself in a hole, you know.
Yeah, that's like I drain like every possible um like oh like I'll share this. I filed for bankruptcy because when in my active addiction, I had a steady job and everything like that, and I put myself in the hole $60,000. Right? They just kept giving me,
Hmm.
money, right?
I'm in
And
the same
I had
kind
to
of
file for
position.
bankruptcy. And
I'm right now trying to pay off all of these loans that I took out 4 years ago because I
yeah.
let them go into collections. So now I have to get
Oh,
my credit back to normal because
how
I'm
long
at
ago
that
was that?
point, right, where I don't need to because I have savings, but I
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
use the savings to pay everything off from the addiction. So it's like crap, right?
Well, at least you're like taking like accountability for it and stuff. That's pretty good. Are you in the hole a lot or just a little bit?
I'd say right now, probably like 5 grand, so it's not
Oh,
too
that's not too
bad.
bad. I mean,
It's
it's
just
huge, but like it's a lot of money, but it's
it's
not the
not
end of the
an
world. Right?
undoable thing, right? But it's just
Yeah,
that also brings anxiety, but it helps me stay sober because I'm like, I don't want to go out and piss all my money away, right?
yeah, yeah. What was it like? Like when you first started, was it like a lot?
Well, what happened was my father had passed away, right?
Oh,
So I
okay.
had some inheritance money.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, okay.
we blew through the inheritance money on opiates and oxys and everything else, right?
Yeah,
And then once that money was gone, we were like used to living like this lavish kind of drug lifestyle. And then
yeah,
all of a
yeah. I've been
sudden
there too.
it crashed down and we had to take out all these loans and we
Oh,
almost lost our house. Like so much shit happened, right?
that's terrible.
And so definitely made my mistakes too, you know, and that's
Yeah,
what people don't understand about addicts. It's like you don't want to feel sick, and that is your main reasoning for continuing. You know what I mean? Because you do not want to feel sick. And it sucks, like I said, that they don't have anything for other drugs that helps you with the withdrawal symptoms, you know? They
yeah.
only
And they
have
say
it for opiates.
I can't how many times people have said like there's no withdrawals from crystal, but there definitely is, right?
Oh no, fuck! Your body's used to it, so there's withdrawals from everything. Like, I'm prescribed Lyrica and
Yeah.
Suboxone. If I don't take it, or clonazepam, if I don't take it, once it's out of my system, I feel like hell. And it's because they
Oh,
didn't taper me off of the medicine. And they don't taper you off the medicine, you get sick. And that's what you have to do, even if you're like in active addiction, you're not strong enough to taper yourself off of it, right? So
yeah.
when you have a doctor that's controlling your medicine, it's a lot easier to do that, right? Where like
Yeah, and
my
they're pretty
friend
good
just,
at the RAM clinic too.
yeah, well, that's my friend that goes to the RAM clinic. He took his last dose of Suboxone in January
Oh,
and
good
he's
for him.
been fine, right? And he like said that he's like, I tapered down, but
Yeah.
when we were on drugs, we can't taper down. You just can't do it. Like,
Oh
even
no,
like,
definitely
no,
not.
it's too tempting, right? And you know, all
Yeah.
the people, like, I could hear the phone ring. I had to lock myself in my room for 2 days because I could hear the phone ringing with dealers, and I couldn't leave
Yeah.
my room to go get the phone because I knew that I would want the drugs, right? And so
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I can't do this, right?
Yeah.
But anyhow, I'll wrap this up a little bit because
Yeah, yeah.
it doesn't look like upload if it's too long. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we should.
say good luck in
Yeah, well, I had
rehab.
fun though. We should when I come back we should, do it again.
We're definitely, yeah, no, we're definitely gonna do it again when you get back,
Yeah. It's
100%, because
fun
I
though.
really
I had
want to
fun.
get your opinion on it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But thank you for sharing all that you did, and I will send you this too, and I
Yeah, please do.
probably
I look forward to it.
I will probably have it up today. So because I don't have to do promotion because you're anonymous.
Yeah, yeah.
So I will upload the episode today.
Uh-huh.
And thank you for sharing. And I wish you all the best of luck at
Thank
rehab.
you.
I think it will help. And I wish you all the best of luck on everything. Obviously, I'll be in touch with you because we are friends and we know each other.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm gonna have you come back on, and when you get back, just to see and let the listeners kind of understand what happens in that like kind of scenario, and what helps, what doesn't, and just different things, right? So I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna be back on when you come back. But good luck, and I will be talking to you later today, anyways.
Yeah, yeah. All right, you have a good one, eh? Take
You too.
care.
Thank you for
Bye.
coming on and
No problem.
sharing.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.